Hello, and welcome to another episode of Honest to a Malt. I am Mike, Whiskey Wings, and we've got here Duncan, Whiskey Tip. Duncan, how are we?
Very good, thanks, Mike.
Thought I'd just fucking spur you into doing the opposite, just to freak you out a little bit there. You're going, what? What? How dare you? What's today's episode called, Duncan?
Today's episode is called Macbeth, Macallan, and the G-Spot.
Yes! There we go. Reality has been flipped on its head.
Jesus Christ, we're interchangeable.
We're not. I already feel dirty and wrong.
Talk to me about, did you watch England play Wales at cricket the other day?
Yes, I thought pretty low scoring game for cricket. Wales, not a bad show of themselves as a semi-professional team.
Not a bad show.
England should have done a lot better. I was expecting about 400.
Low score from England, I thought, 67 or whatever it was. Yeah,
pretty poor.
Pretty poor. Low scoring game of cricket.
Really good. Just happy to get like 1-6 and a couple of runs.
They're just happy to be there.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Just like, it's a nice day out for them, isn't it? Do you know
they
what
were
I mean?
drinking port on the wicket, mate. They weren't interested.
There's a lot of complaining about the quality of the pitch and whether in tampering of the ball.
It's just yet more vindication for my moans I've done over the last year about Welsh rugby.
Right.
Get fucked. Get fucked. Well, that's what's been up my arse anyway. I've got something else, but yeah, we'll come on to that.
You go for it first. So what's been in your glass and what's been up your arse then, Mike? Oh,
what?
Episode 90.
Episode 90, 90, just in case
90.
you're a new listener. It's not episode 19. What has been in my glass? Genuinely not a lot. It's been a bit of a week of it at work, and I've barely been home. Yeah, not a great deal. I think what I did pull out of the cupboard, blew the dust off it, was a oyster. What is it called? Douglas Lang
oyster?
Rock oyster.
Rock oyster. Okay.
Yeah. So I had an old cask strength version of the rock oyster, and I thought, as we'd done that Big Pete, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to pull out some Douglas Lang from the cupboard, and lo and behold,
there it was.
Rock oyster cask strength.
Oh, that's the Islands one, whereas Big Pete's really the Isla-centric one.
Yeah.
Epicurean's the Lowlands one.
Yeah.
Scarabus, and there's also a Campbelltown one, isn't there, called something? It's just too much brain power now.
Too much gone.
We're trying to it's like we're brand ambassadors for Douglas Lang. I mean, how many are we supposed to remember?
5.
Too many. Yeah. 5 out of 6 is not bad.
So I had a couple of those during the week. That was about it. Just it's been in the house, grab whiskey, close eyes, wake up, non-stop. Right. And then the delights yesterday.
You've had a haircut as well, haven't you? I think.
I've had a haircut, yeah.
I
am looking sharp, stroke, bit Hitlery. It took about 2 minutes to cut, so it was very...
I think that's the first time Hitler's been mentioned on the podcast, but...
I think so. If I squared up this moustache, we could be in trouble here, mate.
You and your mate Elon Musk, just sort it out. Get back to a better place, Mike. Come back to us.
Yeah, no. So, I literally got in... I was coming home from work yesterday and found out that there's no water in my town. There'd been a leak at one of the sewage treatment plants. Complete shutdown. You had to go and collect water from somewhere. And I was
I've seen that before. That happened here once. They get giant pallets of like these tiny 500ml bottles.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with 500ml bottles?
Laura said, "Can you get some water on your way home?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So I got in the cab because again, bus replacement service at my station. So I had to go somewhere else.
So you've got no transport, no water.
No water. Yeah. So I stop at M&S, grab some water, get in a cab, go back to my town, and I'm telling the taxi driver, the water's gone down. He went, "You're not going home without you." I went, "What?" He's like, "You got 3 little bottles of water there. Your missus is going to kill you." And I went, "That's enough." And he was like, "Mate."
No, that's
so
not
he was
enough.
Like, "We're stopping at the supermarket. Go in and get some water." So he basically marched me into the supermarket.
My God, you're getting life advice off the taxi.
Yeah.
Marriage counselling off the taxi driver.
He got a pallet with me, so he picked one up. I paid.
Oh, that's what it was. He wanted water for himself.
No. Literally.
Oh, he helped you carry it?
Helped me carry it.
Oh,
got back in the house. She's like, I'll take it over the road. I was like, no. I was like, oh, fuck. And he's like, yeah, 25 quid fare. I was like, it's 35, mate. Thanks.
Imagine if your postman was that nice.
I dropped the C-bomb last time for the first time, so apologise if you were offended by that. I mean, I don't really apologise. It's just a cursory fucking sorry. But
thanks for that, Mike.
Postman, massive C-U-N-T.
Yeah. So you basically got the living conditions of the Philippines in Kent. Pretty much, with none of the weather.
Cold out and no post.
No roads, no transport, no water you can drink, no post, and it's like, 10 degrees.
But the only positive, I say positive, it came back on today at 3 o'clock. So we had water again. 4 o'clock, doorbell goes, Amazon with my 32 litres of water I ordered. Devo.
32 litres of water. That's such a heavy order as well, isn't it?
Well, I was expecting it for like 2 days.
It's 32 kilograms.
I was like, I am going to have to how can I wash with a litre of water, like a bottle? I was like, I can make it stretch.
Yeah, just got a couple of days without a shower.
Didn't have to do it in the end.
I thought you were harder than that.
Oh,
I thought you were.
I could go days without showering. It's just the people around me that would be.
They'd be
like Stig of the dump.
Oh my days! And we were coming onto the pod today, and Mike electrocuted himself twice in the year. So if you're listening to this, he's at a low ebb right now. He's a delicate flower. He's a man on the edge.
I'm just scared to move in case anything else electrocutes me. I'm like, has water got in or something? Has the summer house or whiskey room lost its integrity?
I think it's all in your head. I don't think anything happened.
It is now. Fuck me. Yeah. I'll sleep well tonight. I've probably just forgotten a load of key memories from life. But
yeah, your own shock therapy. Huh?
Yeah. Anyway, how about you? I believe, firstly, what's up your arse? Because we'll get into what's been in your glass.
Oh, other than you interrupting the normal flow of things and doing the intro. What's been up my arse? Well, actually, first thing's something that warmed my heart through and through, and that was other than obviously England hammering Wales at rugby.
Oh, you're a rugby fan now, are you?
Absolutely. If it winds you up, I'm a rugby fan. I must have watched that game 3 times just so I could feel your pain. Just so I could feel your pain. No, so it was what Thomas Tuchel said about Gareth Southgate when he came out and said recently. He said everything that I wanted to say, except he's the New England manager. He basically said under Southgate at the last tournament, England had no rhythm, no style, no cohesion, no this, no that. He put the boot in to the absolute max that he could possibly do. I love that. What's been up my arse has been
the 2 boring games that he's played since, and the one that's being played now.
One's happening right now. We're watching this, but it's only a friendly, and they're against 2 teams that just park the bus. So what's the point, really?
Well, I mean, at the moment you're struggling against fucking Santa, who's in semi-retirement up until Christmas, and they've got him out of fucking playing for Latvia or Lapland or whatever.
Oh my goodness me! Well, it was Albania then Latvia, isn't it? So it's Latvia's at the moment. We'll see.
At least I can say Wales football flying high.
Yeah, who did you play? It was like someone like
Kazakhstan.
That's what I was going to say. It's like a San Marino equivalent, like Kazakhstan. Yeah, well known for their football.
I turned it on. It was 1-1. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, how have they scored? That must be a penalty. And
given the fact that the Kazakhstani players are probably going to get shot if they don't win, when they go back to their country. So
not one of them looked like Borat, by the way.
Bit more pressure on. I bet he was playing nice. It's nice.
Not even close. That was such a way out there incorrect stereotype.
Oh, right. Oh, none of them. Oh, what you're saying is none of them look like Borat.
Borat's wrong. Yeah.
Of course Borat's wrong. Surely that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway, so what's been up my arse is our dog Leo. He's coming up for 8 years old now. I haven't mentioned him in a while, but basically he's become like a really mopey old man. And
I'm going to say he's fucking dead.
No.
He's I haven't mentioned him for a while, and he's gone.
If we have a break on the pod for 2+ weeks, that probably means the dog's passed away. Basically, he's really moping about everything. And so my wife and I, we've been on a real charm offensive to winning back into happier times. And I thought the whole point of getting a dog was unbridled joy. I didn't realise that we'd have another moody...
Another...
Well, like kids and stuff. We got 2 kids who are generally very happy, but, occasionally you have to do the whole parenting thing. And a dog. The dog's the hardest work out of all of them. So we had to get him a new bed recently. That cheered him up a little bit. I've been having to give him extra food, more walks, and having to pay him attention and play with his toys a bit. Because he's genuinely, I think, got a bit of the hump, right? Having to take him out specifically to let him to go and patrol the grounds in the morning to try to cheer him up. And now he doesn't bound down the stairs anymore. He takes his time. So you'll be in a rush in the morning. I'm trying to go to take one of our daughters to school. And he'll be taking his time. I'm like, I haven't got time, Leo.
He knows.
Come now. Now come.
Yeah.
He's flapping about.
Get fucked, Dad.
He's been properly annoying me for the last week. He's here. He's right here next to me. So hopefully,
as long as he's still,
he's still as he can get. Yeah. So he's been really doing my head in.
Love it.
That. What's been in my glass was a mixture of things, really. I was going to talk you through the Macbeth 2 tasting. So come to that. I've been sipping bit of different stuff. I was having a look and I can't remember all of it. I did have another Tandu. I had, I don't know, various pours from the cupboard. Today, we're going to go through and try some of the latest secret Speyside M's together. You've got the 17-year-old together. Mike's got the 17-year-old car strength and the 13-year-old car strength open. And I've got 13-year-old car strength.
20 or batch 29.
It's got 29, but I think they're all very similar, 25, 27, 29.
Yeah.
And I've got the Speyside M25 and the recent 15-year-old Speyside 48.2%. So we're going to try all three, see what we think. I wanted to give a shout out to Audi because they don't do jack all for us, but I do rate them. You were talking about Audi champagne the other day? 15 quid a pop.
I said Audi for a second. I was like, if you've liked the car, you prick, I'm going to shoot me.
Aldi. Not Audi.
It's just got a TT.
So coffee stout. There, you see it. I put it against my face. You can see with the blur. So that coffee stout there from Aldi. Aldi. Rich, dark, and indulgent. 5.2%. Banger. Really good.
Does it say where it's made?
It says specially produced for Warwickshire, Atherstone.
So
Kildare.
Go and have a gander at their website, and you'll find that it's probably a beer they're already making.
Oh, Hall and Woodhouse. It says brewed in the UK in partnership with Hall and Woodhouse. That's what it says.
Yeah, because they do a really good Kent ale, Aldi, and due to the legislation, you can actually have a 5.5% swing, I think it is, in booze.
Right.
So they sell their own at, say, I think it was 4.8.
Yeah.
Aldi are selling it at 4.7, but it's the same beer. But Aldi do it in a brown bottle, which doesn't get affected by sun and everything else. So it just tastes so much better than the actual genuine version of Spitfire. So
Spitfire, of course it is a Kent brewery. I should guess that. Yeah, I like Spitfire as well.
So you can do some detective work on that one and work out what it actually is you're drinking, rather than the Aldi brand version.
Well, have a bit of a Google, but it is good, I have to say.
I love Aldi beers and stuff. I mean,
if you like a stout, I actually wanted to say to you, I would love it if we got a stout specialist on the pod and we did an episode about stouts. That would be, I'd be in my happy zone.
If we hired someone to just be in the background that was stout. Just a random stout gentleman.
A couple of people listening to the pod bought the Ibiza Rosé that Mr.
Goldstein.
Mr. Andy Goldstein was talking about. So I also bought a bottle. So at least 2 listeners bought bottles and messaged just about it.
I was going through the reviews and the 1-stars were the best. This is like battery acid. This is everything else. This fucking shit. What did you reckon?
Like the reviews on Amazon, people going, I thought Goldstein was really bigging this up and it's absolute pap. Battery acid. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a fancy bottle. That's what I think for about 10. I haven't tried it yet. I really don't like rosé, so I'm not the person to judge it. I've bought it and we'll crack it open when the weather warms up a little bit with some of the ladies.
Fair dues. Right? Yes.
And I will have a glass to see what the fuss is about or not about. Yeah. So we did this whiskey tasting the other night at the Whiskey Exchange.
Yes, it looked amazing.
It was really good. So I'm going to talk you through it and a bit about the story because I learned something. But before we get to that, I went with John from Chingford and a gentleman I work with to the Devonshire in Soho near Piccadilly Circus. Is it the Devonshire or the Devonshire Arms?
Devonshire.
It's that famous Guinness pub.
Yeah.
The G-Spot. Right?
I'm fuming. I'm not fuming. I'm happy for you, but I need to get there.
Mike, this is going to come out after we've gone to Whiskey Live, but I strongly suggest we try to get a pint before or after. It's such a good experience. So first off, you tell me what you know about it because you've seen it on TikTok and all that kind of stuff, right? You tell me what you know and then I'll tell you my lived experience.
Not chilled, separate lines away from everything else. They are running a different mix of nitrogen and carbon dioxide within the lines. I think that's it. Definitely
not chilled. Love that. That's what I was saying about the Alexandra Tavern in Norwich. Non-chilled Guinness is better.
One with the dirty glass.
Listen, that's got a special place in my heart, that pub. You're going to make me go there and drink more and eat more cheese rolls. That's what you're going to do. You're going to force me to double down in my support of it. Save the pubs. Everything you said, I guess, is true. You go in, it's got that kind of classic like Dublin or busy court pub experience where it's busy inside, it's rammed outside, and they've got the little like podium type thing where all the Guinnesses get lined up. So as you're standing there, there's like people queuing at the bar. I'd say 9 in 10 people are ordering Guinness. So all you hear is this: people go 4 Guinness, 5 Guinness, 3 Guinness, 10. Who's having 10 Guinness? It can take ages. Don't forget that person, but just doing that as it's going round. And they're obviously remembering what's going on, and they've got all the pints, 2/3 or 3/4 of the way up the glass, and then they're just topping them up and just dishing them
So is it that popular now? They're basically just free pouring Guinness the whole time?
Yeah, free pouring Guinness the whole time. And we went on a Wednesday afternoon about 4:00, rammed.
Really?
Rammed. I cannot imagine, as it was coming towards 6:00, it was like beyond rammed. And I cannot imagine what it would be like at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. So my suggestion would be, if you want to go midday, because that's how busy it is.
Jeepers.
The Guinness is exceptionally creamy. If it was my local, I'd be there every day.
Is it the best Guinness you've had?
No, it's not the best. Look, that's such a hard thing to say. This is like when we got asked the tough question of the day from that top journalist and sports media personality. What's your favourite ever? It's really hard to say. It's one of the best Guinness I've ever had. It's up there. Yeah. It's perfect temperature, perfect gas level, creamy as hell, tasty as hell, consistent. Nice. And they must be getting through such volume that they're keeping it going. So it's never sitting. It's just always being changed. So the barrel's always new, pretty much.
Nice.
They probably get, God knows how many kegs they get through of a day. A lot. If they weren't so busy, I would have asked them what the quietest day of the week is. Although we could probably guess maybe it's like Monday. I would suggest the best thing to do would be to go like on the quietest day of the week at the quietest time of the week and hunker down and have a session.
I did hear on the Socially Distant Sports Bar podcast that Ellis James had gone there the other day, and he was like, genuinely is amazing. Lovely Guinness. Absolutely amazing.
I'm pretty sure that we saw, who's that fella that used to present Soccer AM before Goldstein?
Before Goldstein kicked out Tim and Simon from Sunday Brunch.
Tim. I have to search his name up now. Tim.
Lovejoy?
Yes. Well done, Mike. Excellent. The electricity has stimulated your brain, not killed it.
It is Tim Lovejoy, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tim Lovejoy was just having a pint on his own. And then he chipped off, had like 2 pints and chipped off.
Nice.
Because, like probably just after work or whatever or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's London, isn't it? So brilliant. Top tip. Could fully agree with the Socially Distanced Sports Bar podcast, Ellis James.
Yes. Mike Bubbins said he's going to go, but probably won't bother. He won't turn up.
Bubbins will get swarmed if he goes, whereas Ellis James could go there. People won't know who he is, will he? But Bubbins will get swarmed. Sure, Ellis James gets swarmed everywhere he goes. So let's do this Macbeth tasting then. So you missed it. You were invited. I went with John from Tringford.
Fucking solo dadding, so couldn't leave the house, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you'll get an award one day, I'm sure. But until then, we'll be drinking whiskey without you.
Yeah, prick. Talk me through it.
Well, okay, I learnt a lot. Not necessarily about the whiskies, but about the story. For a start, the tasting was in the ground floor on Wednesday last week, so sometime in March, in Great Portland Street, which is close to like Oxford Circus in London, right? And we went from the Devonshire and we just walked up 20 minutes from there to the tasting. And they really put on all the stops. So they set out all these like circular tables downstairs. Obviously, there's like a toilet at Great Portland Street. So you've got everything you need. You've got whiskey, you've got a toilet. They put some crackers and snacks on the table. Not much, all your glasses are laid out. You've got a little booklet with tasting notes. And we were in for a real treat. So the tasting was hosted by Lexi Burgess, who is the person who conceived the idea. There was also Dawn who's like head taster, I think, from the Whiskey Exchange. I might have got the job.
Whiskey buyer?
Yeah. Taster and whiskey buyer, absolutely, that's right.
Legend.
Who is a legend and actually is a really good laugh and doesn't pull any punches on her opinions.
No.
She's like, a lot of independent bottlers are shit. So, Dawn, come on the pod anytime you want. You did say you would. I love it. And Sekindo was there himself.
Oh, nice.
So to talk about the whiskey. So the whole concept, but if anyone's listening to this and you're like a diehard whiskey fan and you start shouting at the podcast, going, it's so expensive. You're right, it is. It's really expensive. But in terms of the story, I don't know if I've heard anything better conceptualized. Okay. And so I'm going to definitely get this. I'm not going to tell this in quite the same way as the people who created it themselves, but I'm going to try to explain it to Mike in a way that I understood it. So it's based on Macbeth, the story itself. Lexi, his parents are both in like theatre and stuff like that. Okay. And he's been involved in whiskey creation, whiskey bottling and design or something like that. I think whiskey did like design, right? I think from a kind of design studio perspective. And he had this idea. And this idea was to do something like Macbeth. And he wasn't sure how he'd get this project off the ground because he's passionate about the play Macbeth, right? And he knows Sir Quentin Blake, the artist, the very famous artist, right? And he felt like in his bones that, I'm pretty sure he said bones, he didn't say bones. He felt in his bones that if he could get Quentin Blake to agree to do something on it, he'd be able to get other people involved.
Yeah.
And so he went to meet Sir Quentin Blake, because obviously he must live in the same area as him or something like that. It sounded like they just bump into each other at the coffee shop or whatever. So
love it.
I'm guessing like Notting Hill or something like that, but who knows? Some part of London. Who's well in his 90s now. He's like 94. So he doesn't have to do anything. You know, he doesn't do anything if he doesn't want to do it, basically. He's not going to lift a finger. And so he said to him, look, how would you feel about drawing some characters for Macbeth? I want to do like this Macbeth whiskey series. And like Lexi, if you listen to this, or Dawn, or Sekinda, or
Sir Quentin Blake,
or Sir Quentin Blake, or Oliver Chilton, the other person that's involved in the whiskey creation along with Sekinda Singh. So if you listen to this and get it wrong, we apologise. You're always welcome to come on and correct us. But basically, Quentin Blake said, no, that doesn't interest me at all. And then thinking on his feet, Lexi said, what happens if you, because he's obsessed with birds, what happens if you drew all the characters from Macbeth but as birds? And Mike, have a little Google.
Oh, I've seen him. Like,
you've seen him,
yeah.
And he went, "Oh yeah, I think I could do that. I think, yeah." And
they look like the crows from Dumbo.
So good. And literally the next morning, he got a call, and he'd done them all by the next morning. As in, 10 a.m. He'd done them all in the morning, like between 4 a.m. and like 7, 8 a.m. He'd drawn all 32 or whatever his characters that were required. I think there's 30 main characters in Macbeth and some other ones. So everything's got a design. He's got all these designs drawn out in like Indian paints or pencils or whatever it is that he works with. So he had that, and he was able to take these and then go and then conceptualize that further. And so then what he did was he got Dave Broom involved.
Yep.
And he went to Dave Broom, and I might have this out of order. And he said, look, I would like you to create using these characters that have been drawn out and using the character in Macbeth. So each character in Macbeth, whether it's Lady Macbeth or King, all the characters, you can look them up. But create a profile. Don't tell me what the whiskey is. Tell me what the whiskey tastes like. Tell me about its profile. And so it's like reverse engineering, in a sense, how you would get to this. So you go through and say, okay, this character would be like this. And so these descriptions are written on like the back of the bottles.
Nice.
And so it started with the idea, which then led to the drawings through Sir Quentin Blake, which then led to the character profiles created by Dave Broom of what the whiskey should be without saying exactly what the whiskey is. And then he took those and went to find some people that would be interested in doing the whiskey. And of course, that was ended up being the hardest bit, because you have to find someone that's got the inventory, believes in the project, who wants to get involved. And so in the end, it turned out to be Sekinda, obviously of Whiskey Exchange fame, legendary status, and looks like Oliver Chilton as well. And Sekinda was there on the evening himself and said he got a lot of stock. And the bit that really came across to me was that he was most interested in not just using single casks, but more interested in using blending from all of their inventory across distilleries, i.e., multiple casks from Jura or multiple casks of Clynelish to achieve, whether it's bourbon, sherry, port, whatever, wine, to achieve what they were going for. And a good example there, I think, there would be, I think one of the murderers was a Ben Renner's, and it was kind of like sweaty and dirty. Like there was quite a bit of red wine cask influence in the mix there. And I think the whole sort of concept of it was kind of around sort of bloods. And it kind of worked. I felt like there was a lot of weight, a lot of pressure on the liquid, given you're holding these bottles as they're being passed around, which are kind of like works of art, really, aren't they?
I was going to say, beautiful bottles.
Beautiful bottles. And if money was no object and I had to have a collection, I mean, it would be up there with the collections that I would love to have. Having seen it now. So if money was no object and I was like a squillionaire, I could choose any collection in the world. I'm not saying I'd definitely choose this collection, but say I got it down to a shortlist. This would be on the shortlist of 5 or 10 globally that I would want to have, in terms of like, it's just really cool. It was
Act 2 that you...
Act 2, yeah. So if you search it, you can see the whiskies online. Now, being honest to a malt, I have got to be honest about the whiskey. So let's do this 2 ways. So Mike, you go through them and I'll tell you what I thought, what my notes from the evening said.
Let's go with Ben Rennis, 85 quid a bottle.
So that was the Soldier. I've written sweaty, sick, a little thin, 2 out of 5.
Bad. Okay.
No, I mean, but the thing is, they're expensive. It's 84 quid. So, you know, if you told me it was 50 quid, I might score it 3 out of 5. Do you see what I mean? So
I do see what you mean.
I think bear that in mind. It was an interesting Ben Rinners. Would I want it for £84? No. Would I want it for the label? Yes. Right.
What struck out for me? The Jura 17, the Murderer.
So the Jura is 129.50.
125 online.
I put 4 out of 5, 48.5%. It's called the Second Murderer. I was reading my notes. I've written magnificent peated Jura, sherry and dirt, meaty, full, bites.
So 17 years old, 125 quid. You're saying that could be.
I mean, if you wanted
pickup.
It's an incredible Jura. That's my takeaway from that. And there's not much peated Jura stock left. So we were talking about on the evening, Sukhinder was talking about prophecy and superstition and how Jura is so much better when it's peated, basically.
Yeah.
And I have to back that up. So what's next then on the old list of those whiskies?
The one I'm now scared to go to as an independent, Klein Leash, 14-year-old, the Servant.
Yeah, I've been
140 quid.
Baby sick.
55.1.
Yeah, baby sick cream, Granny Smith apples, honey, little wax, a little hot, spicy, more green apples. I've put 3 out of 5.
Fair.
I've scored it like as if we're doing blind drams. You get that right. You know, like the only score that really matters.
Your Highland Park 18.
Yeah,
225 quid.
Nose very good, vibrant, a bit sour on the palate, heavy peat, apples, not a lot else immediately. I've put 2 out of 5.
Fair dues. Oh, I can almost guarantee the next one's going to be a 4 or a 5 for you then. A 27-year-old Glen Tockers.
5 out of 5, classic Tockers.
Yeah.
And it genuinely...
What a fucking shock. I'm surprised. And then one Tamdu randomly, just in addition to it, there isn't anywhere else that you've given 15 out of 5.
It's honestly classic Tockers. I don't think you can mess up Tockers of that kind of age and a year. So I'm pretty sure the Tockers is late 90s. So
27 years old, 375 quid. You're saying if there was a Christmas present people wanted to buy you, that would probably be it.
I mean, this is what we just said a second ago. If you want it for everything, including the artwork, right? And money is no object. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Lovely Tockers, lovely artwork. If you want to buy a Glen Tockers, John's sitting next to me and John said the same thing. John said, so would you get this? And I was like, well, probably not. I'd probably just get a 25-year-old Tockers from
another indie.
Yeah. I said, as long as it's late 40s, around 50%, as long as it's from sort of 95, 96, 97, any kind of early to mid 90s to late to mid 90s.
Yeah.
That's the sort of magic period in the 90s for whiskey for me when it's like 20-ish years old and ex-burbs. So it's like, you can't really go that wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
so
fair dues.
What they're called, the Whiskey Barrel are doing a bottle right now still for £110, 25-year-old. So can you justify paying an extra £265 for an extra 2 years?
Yeah, but with a Quentin Blake.
Exactly. And if you want it for the artwork and you want it for the story, then go for it.
Yeah.
If you're going to collect it, if you've got the money to buy 2, drink one and keep one.
So next one, Ben Nevis, 28-year-old, 495 quid, 50.4%. You pulled a face. I'm going to go 3 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, okay.
The face is because it is an exceptional Ben Nevis. It is oily, it is dirty, it's thick, it's everything you want from Ben Nevis, except for me, it was very apple-centric.
Okay.
It was just like pure kind of Granny Smith apples on the taste, and I'm always kind of hoping with the Ben Nevis from that period that it will be, I can't remember if it's like 95 or 96 or whatever, that it will have maybe might have had a bit of peach in there, but it would have maybe some different tropical fruits or something like that. And to be fair, we didn't have that long with it, but it just was very apple centric. But everything else about it was super Nevis.
Fair dues.
Very good.
And then next one up in the price bracket, we've got Ann Isla Distillery. 695, 26-year-old.
Which Isla Distillery is it?
Kalila, 26-year-old Kalila. Is it not?
No, it's not. No, it does say on the back of the bottle where they just they put it on the front, so it's a Lefroy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go
on then, talk me through it.
Well, I put excellent, but not getting the age really. Other than the fact that obviously the peat's calmed down a bit with age. I mean, a really good sherried Lefroy, but because I didn't really get the age on it. I felt like it's one of those ones where if you were trying it blind, you wouldn't know that it was 26 years old.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And that's all we have.
Which is all we have to go on in this particular taste. But delicious. So there we go. Nice. Really good.
So if you had a spare £4,100, you're saying pick up all 8?
If I was minted, I mean, I'd want that and set one.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, the whole story behind it, magic, the drawings, even just everything about the bottles. They have this kind of like the colours of the bottles and the labels.
I love the yellow. It's like a mustard sort of yellow.
Slightly off green, like sort of between green and yellow. They're just beautiful. Like, exceptional design. And, you know.
How many sets did John pick up?
Oh, my gosh. He made me carry one home. I mean.
Should have got my taxi driver, mate. He'd have given you a lift. He'd have carried him to your house for you.
We finished afterwards and then we went to have a burger. I convinced John to have a burger. And then we went to 3 Greek Street.
Pick up anything good in there?
No, yes, we did. We were only going to have one dram before we went home. And, you know, John was like, what should we get? And there's so much choice. I just went, do you know what, John? When I came in with Mike, he recommended we get the Powers 12. I said, we've had a lot of stronger whiskey tonight. Why don't we just have that Powers 12, which is amazing? And so we did. So we had the same Powers 12, which is still behind the bar, which is the sort of old edition, 46%.
Did John like it?
He did. He really liked it. He also hasn't tried much Irish whiskey, so I thought that'd be nice for him to have a little sip on.
Decent.
Yeah, decent. So look, fantastic evening out. Can fully recommend going to these whiskey exchange tastings. I think they're a tremendous value.
I wonder if they'll have these at the whiskey show. Not obviously next week's the whiskey exchange whiskey show.
Ooh, I don't know. They might be on sort of specials or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
We're on countdown. We're like 3-4 days away from Whiskey Live, aren't we?
Whiskey Live in 3 days and then Whiskey Show April 11th off the top of my head.
Okay, wow. Right, so on to the Macallan. We got asked by somebody who's listening. I think it was Sam. I think it was one of the Sams.
Yeah.
If I can remember that correctly, thank you, Sam. Somebody said, look, it'd be good for you to do a comparison between the Macallans. So, you know, in honour of Smedley, aka Cherry Chai, here we are. I think they're pretty good, but how good are they really and how do they compare? So Mike has got in his glass.
I've got the Speyside M 13-year signatory vintage, what's the collection called? 100 proof.
Yep.
And that's number 29 release.
Yeah. And
when we put it up against Woodrow's, because I had a sample of it recently, the Woodrow's release that they weren't happy about, obviously signatory saying you're taking up the whole fucking industry here, chill out.
Yeah, cheap boots.
The Woodrow's did just about top the signatory release because of the nose. So I want to give a shout out to Woodrow's. So if you are looking to pick up something with 100 proof, try and get one of their bottles over signatory. But if you have nothing else, if you are stuck with this, it is still a lovely
if you're
dram.
stuck with this.
Yeah. Slight, tiny sulphur for me on the nose. And I'm not overly sensitive on the palate, but I can pick it up due to the size of my nose generally. And yeah, just a decent Macallan. Not as good as, not my favourite Macallan for a long shot. Not a chance. There's still the fine oak. But for a sherry Macallan, lovely. Just perfectly acceptable and good value for money where Woodrow's unavailable.
That's the 13-year-old one, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got that, but you've also got a 17-year-old cask strength there?
I have. So I've got a 17-year-old, and it's the cask strength collection from Signatory, because there's a fair few of these. I think it is cask.
Well, there was like 30 of them or something.
Yeah, DRU 17A 106, number 28. 61% ABV. No sulphur whatsoever. You've got all that same sherry, but there's actually like a bit of sour fruits on there as well. So it's developed, I think the oak is probably where it's broken down. It's just developed a bit more fruit maybe, or pulled a bit more of those fruity notes out. So nose is far better on the 17. Palate, obviously, big kick up in ABV. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of this when I first opened it. I'd probably not touched this bottle for maybe 18 months, 2 years potentially.
Right.
That is frigging delightful.
Right.
That is stunning.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a couple of bottles of that tucked away, so I should get one open.
Yeah, I'm probably...
Which cask is that again? 12, 28, 27?
28.
28. I've got 28.
Yeah, so that's how much is out of it, a third. And that is delightful.
I've tried that round yours a long time ago when we were there with Quattro, but at the time we were drams in, so it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, it was quite closed, I think, the last time I had it. So that time has really opened it up, and I'm glad because I think I got another one in the cupboard.
So how would you say that compares with the 13-year-old edition 29 100 proof, 57.1%.
It's that turned up to 11 with less sulfur and just more complex. So there's more going on the nose, and there's just a much, much broader scale of flavours on the palate. That has surprised me a little bit, if I'm honest, going back to that. That's lovely. So,
that's good.
Yeah, if you got one in the cupboard and you
Didn't
get on with it first time or whatever.
I mean, they were like 130, 140 quid, weren't they, I think? So it wasn't, I mean, look, it was good value for Macallan, but it wasn't a cheap bottle for 17. I've got almost the same one as you, which is the edition 25. So the Speyside M 2011 13-year-old first fill and refill Oloroso cherry butts. And look, it's slightly hot. There's a tiny bit of sulfur, like you said. It's very much kind of cherry, chocolate, coffee, maybe a bit of nuttiness in there. I like it, but I have to say, I don't know if it's just because I'm soft at the moment. I think I prefer this Speyside 15M from Signatory Vintage, which is small batch edition 18, which again is first fill and refill Oloroso cherry butt. So it's all the same.
What's the ABV? Did you say 48?
48.2, that's the difference.
Nice.
This is 51 quid. So ironically, slightly more expensive, but I hate to say it, it's smooth, right?
Ooh, it's smooth FM.
It is no sulfur on this one, so they've managed to iron that out. And for me, this is up there challenging. If I want a bottle, like if I said, I just fancy a really easy pour, and I might say, okay, that could be a Tamdhu 15 or it could be Glenallachie 15 or something like that. This is right in the mix. But to be able to have as an everyday whiskey, 15-year-old Macallan at 48.2%, if you feel like it, and it's still available and there's batches of it. And the reason there's batches of it, somebody alluded to at the Whiskey Exchange thing, is because the guy that runs Signatory Vintage just hates the world, particularly Macallan. And so he just keeps releasing it. He just doesn't care. The more it upsets people, the more he wants to release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that does put a slightly different twist on my thoughts then.
What were your thoughts?
Well, like I said, buy Woodrow's over Signatory, but if he's going out to be vindictive just to have a dig at Macallan, I love that. I'm all over that.
He is 100% apparently.
That's amazing.
He just wants to upset as many people as possible, apparently. Now, listen, that's second-hand information from people who know more than we do. So I'm going to take them at face value on that. Right?
How good is your source of intel?
Excellent.
They are fair dues.
Yeah, very good. So there was a wee bit of discussion about this. And if you're trying any of these, share your thoughts with us. We don't often ask for you to share your thoughts, but come on, this has been a pretty big subject. So tweet us or hit us up on Instagram after you listen to the episode, or post a comment in the chat, and let us know if you've tried any of these Secret M Speysides.
Or the Macbeth series from the chapter 1.
Oh, my days, absolutely, yeah. We've tried any
I think
of
you
those.
can still get most of the bottles, I want to say. I don't think they're sold out even from chapter 1.
Possibly, I mean, they're not priced at a sellout level, are they?
No, but I will be buying one of the Macbeths, I think. Just
real?
For the bottle, mate. Again, the Jura is tipping me. I do want a nice Jura.
Okay, let me look at what the picture is on the Jura, right? So I can just visualize it again, because
it's a crow in a grey dressing gown. It's my best way of describing it. The murderer.
yeah.
I want it just because it brings back memories of Roald Dahl.
Yes, it does. Of course it does. Yeah. It's
a shame that none of them got like super peach notes on it and nothing but. Because you could just have had a little James and the Giant Peach.
If I had to have any one of them, I'd probably, for value, I'd probably get the Jura. If I had to go for the more expensive ones, I think I'd probably get the Nevis, despite what I said. Because the Tockers, I just, I know I can get that Tockers. Yeah, I don't know. The Tockers or the Nevis, I guess.
Well, you've mentioned Nevis now, and at the time we're recording...
at the time of recording?
Aberdeen Whiskey Shop are doing a bit of a sale, and they've got the Ben Nevis 9 Decanter collection, which is just like a fancy bottle, basically.
The Hibiscus or Hibisco or something like that.
I don't know, it just says the Decanter collection, but 9-year-old Nevis for 45 quid in a lovely bottle.
Yeah, it's a beautiful decanter, isn't it?
Yeah, and they had Fettercairn. I think it might be gone, mate.
I say, when we started recording this pod, there was Fettercairn available for 25 quid, 10-year-old.
10-year-old Fettercairn.
And now?
Sold out.
For fuck's sake. I said I'd only buy it if it was still available at the end of the pod. An hour later, it's sold out. Also,
I fucking... no, hang on. It's still there.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, it's sold. It's sold. It came up, but it's not. It's gone.
My days. Do you know what's annoying about that is, the reason I would have got that is, again, that would have been for the father-in-law. Anything sub 30, particularly sub 25, So Morrison's, I was saying to Mike before the pod started, Morrison's have been obviously trying to get the rest of stock. So now's the time to be paying attention to supermarkets. There's a whiskey glut. It's not selling enough.
Yep.
So Mozzers, you pop in there and get your salad. When you go to the salad
That's
counter.
Morrison's for
Yeah, Morrison's. Yeah, sorry, Morrison's. So we pop in there and go and get your salad at the salad counter and your heart and your chicken from the rotisserie. Nip over to the whiskey section and check and see if they've got any Cotswold single malt for £22.50. That's what they're selling it for. £22.50. Or any Johnny Walker Green Label for 20 of your English pounds.
That is an absolute steal.
15-year-old. I know it's 40%.
The smokiest Johnny Walker there is. It's delightful.
Bargain.
Absolutely stunning. Do you know why I would get that, or would have got that Douglas Lang? Because it's the Provenance. And I don't think I've had a bad Provenance release.
Yeah.
And they are always good value. Even at 55 quid, I probably could be tempted to pick one of those Vettercairns up. That would have been quite an interesting drink from them. I've had some amazing like Chegs and stuff from it. So yeah, I'll always have a nose at those.
You are reminding me and look, this is not good overall for the whiskey industry. I'm always reminded of what Matt Mackay, aka the Dramble, said, where it's bad for whiskey industry and probably drinkers overall eventually if everything ends up being dirt cheap. But because prices went up too fast, it was unsustainable. So we're in this situation now. So Bartels, who are the Highland Laird, they reduced their Lechig from a 17-year-old from £85 to 80. And I forgot there was this thing called Andrew Pad Thai whiskey. That fella. He messaged me to say, hey, there's this.
I love coriander. Just to let you know, Duncan.
You love it.
That's what he said first.
He said it's not. I like a soapy taste. That's what he said. Coriander. So Pad Thai whiskey. He messaged me and he said, there's this one called 99 on 1, which is a Lechig, and it's an 18-year-old, but 1% of it, like someone's dropped like basically a teaspoon, 3-year-old grain whiskey into it. So it's 99% 18-year-old plus Lechig, sherried.
But it's branded up as
going
a 3-year-old.
for like 55 quid. Now you can still get it. You can't get it on, your old Master of Malt because everything seems to sell out first there. On that one, but other websites have still got it. And so now I'm torn, Mike, between I'm definitely going to get a Lechig. So do I get this 99 and 1 something souls? I want to say tortured souls, but it's not. It's something else. It's a beautiful looking label. Or do I go with what we've tried, which is the 17-year-old Highland Laird from Bartels, which is now £80? What say you?
I say
£55 or £80.
I'm throwing something else into the mix.
There you go.
Signatory Vintage Edradour 11-year-old at 65 quid in a little decantery type bowl. When was the last time you had an Edradour?
It's been 3 years since I had a bottle of Edradour.
Yeah. Bourbon cask, 11 years old.
It's absolutely nothing like
quid,
a Lechig, though, is it? So
60. It's not, but
have you seen the Longmorn? Let's see. We're getting into whiskey shopping. Have you seen the Longmorns on Bartels? There's a 17-year-old ex-Burbs cask and a 13-year-old. One's 50 quid ish, and one's £65. And that's proof that if you're not trendy, right? Because they're not trendy, it's an uphill struggle. Because I bet the whiskey's great, or at least as hit and miss as other independent bottlers, but they're not trendy. So, they're putting out Longmorn, which is typically fairly hard to get, and no one's biting their hand off. They even publish how many bottles left on the website, 60 plus. And so, because they say over 60, people will look and go, I don't have to buy it now. But I bet if they took off that 60 and said, last few remaining, they would sell, right? So,
mate, I had to dive in. I've had no option but to go and look, and now you're a bastard because I've seen
there's a Jura on there as well.
Yeah, the Jura is on there. There's a Deanston on sale.
I'm just saying they're not getting any love, but we know that Highland Laird 17-year-old Lechig was good. We tried it.
Right? Lechig was great, fantastic.
Dirty.
I've also seen a Grand Champagne Cognac for fucking 70 quid from 1993.
Oh, okay. Let's wrap the pod up and do some shopping. All right. So, if you like the pod and you've been enjoying this episode, be so kind, fair gentleman or lady, to leave us a 5-star review on either Spotify or Apple or any other podcast platform.
Or Audible. Which I found out Audible. I found out we're on Audible, and there's one 5-star review, which might or might not be from me.
Also, if you fancy treating us, we've got this thing called Buy Us a Coffee /Honest to a Malt. We'll give you a shout out. We'll read out whatever you write on there, as long as it doesn't have. Oh no, we do swear. You can swear on there.
No, I'll read it.
He'll read it out. verbatim. So
as long as it doesn't sound like it's come from like Trump's mouth, I'm okay.
Oh, and we also have to give a shout out to Whiskey Loving Pianist, who was at Croydon Whiskey Festival.
Yes,
who did try to convince us to go. We both couldn't go for family reasons, so we're so sorry we didn't make it to Croydon. It's nothing about Croydon. It's everything about
I'm fucking gutted.
It's everything about our lives outside of...
Even Somerton, I don't think I can make it.
Because
of
Somerton.
Bloody family stuff. And I'm like,
if you could have come to Somerton, we could have both taken the dogs with us. We could have had a doggo's day out.
I'm not taking Barley anywhere. He's a dick. Yeah, I don't like taking him on walks, let alone fucking to a whiskey show.
All right.
But yes, so thank you very much for repping the t-shirt. And it was probably my favourite slide of an episode tile that we ever made, with the cat sat on the
yes
treasure. Sunken Drunken Gold.
That was a treat, wasn't it? That was such
title.
a good episode tile.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for buying that. It is appreciated just to see that out in the wild. You didn't mention it, you didn't tag it. It was someone else that sent a picture to us.
Libby.
So, yeah, beggar. Libby, indeed, from Glasgow. Yes, so again, if you want to find us, we're on www.honestormalt.com. We are on @honestormalt on all the social media. As I said at the beginning when I stole Duncan's part, Duncan's on @Whiskey Tip. I am on @Whiskey Wings, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.